I'm Annalise and I work with YiS, and this is...
I'm Jodie and I'm a volunteer for YiS and have been for a few months now.
And I was going to ask some questions about what young people would be interested in counselling, and Jodie is going to answer them for us because she is one of the volunteer counsellors with YiS. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right. So what is counselling?
Counselling is great. First off, I believe it's great, but counselling is basically where two people come together to discuss the client's issues. They could range from anything that's bothering them. It could feel quite big or quite small. But we just create a safe space really, and build up trust and a relationship where the young person can hopefully open up a little bit, share some of their thoughts and feelings and fears. We don't give advice, but we may look at some coping strategies and some tools that might be useful. And it's just a really good way of keeping yourself well.
Yeah. At YiS, how long is a counselling session typically?
They're usually 50 minutes. We have hour slots, but a counselling session will usually last about 50 minutes. As the session sort of nears the end, a counsellor will make the client aware so that they're prepared for that, and usually make sure that they're feeling okay and ready to kind of go back out after the session.
Thank you. If a young person changed their mind or they wanted to leave during a session, are they allowed to do so?
Of course, yeah. I mean, counselling only really works when the client is there and wants to be there. It may be that clients are referred by friends or family or school or college or whatever, but it does rely on the young person wanting to engage in the process. If a young person felt in a session they wanted to leave, I would hope they would feel comfortable enough to discuss that with the counsellor and they could kind of see what that's about. But of course, they could leave at any moment.
Thank you. If they were starting counselling sessions, how often would they have them?
You're given a block of 6 sessions at YiS when you are referred and come through for your sessions. It can be extended if needs be. Obviously, everyone's an individual, everyone's got different issues, and it may be that a client needs a bit longer, and if that's the case, then that can be discussed and put forward and usually extended.
Yeah, and that's once a week, isn't it?
It's once a week, same time, same day, same place.
Yeah. Are the sessions confidential?
They are totally confidential, so that's what helps the counselling process to work, that the young person feels that what they're talking about is just between them and the counsellor. If there was a risk of harm to somebody, that is outlined in the initial meeting with the client, and if the counsellor did have some concerns, they would first discuss it with the client if they needed to take it elsewhere, just to see if they can support in other ways and prevent risk of harm to the client or anyone else in the client's life. But that would be discussed with the client first.
Yeah. Would the young person have to fill in any forms before, during, after?
There is a little bit of form filling, but nothing overwhelming. There's a referral form which can be done online, which is pretty straightforward. There's an initial meeting for a young person. Once they've made contact, that's what they'll be contacted to arrange to do. But it is the counsellor that will go through the form. The counsellor will fill out the form, but it might involve just asking, it will involve asking the client just some questions about themselves and their situation and what they're hoping to gain out of the counselling. And then we have a form where we fill every week just to review where the client's at, how sessions are going. It can be used to highlight any issues that might not be highlighted otherwise. And it just helps track progress as well for the client throughout the sessions. And there's also an end of counselling evaluation and a contract.
Yeah, like the counsellors help them fill them out in the sessions, or they fill them out themselves. The weekly ones, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that counsellor will go go through with the client. So it's not daunting in any way. It's not left for the client to complete, and it's integrated into the session. It's a useful way of gaining information and getting to know each other a little bit.
Yeah. If they can't make a session, will they lose it?
If they make contact with us and let us know that they can't attend an appointment, the more notice the better. If someone's going on holiday or whatever, then just let us know at the start of sessions and that can be factored in. If someone's ill, obviously that can't be, you can't always know until not long beforehand, but the sooner we know the better. If clients don't let us know before a session, and there's no contact, then they would end up losing that block of sessions, but that doesn't mean they couldn't come back and have a block again in the future.
And sessions don't really run within the school holidays, so normally you have a couple of weeks off every so often.
Yeah, the way YiS works, ordinarily there are breaks for the school holidays as well. Yeah.
Do they have to pay for any of the sessions?
No, it's all totally free.
Where are the sessions held normally when we're not in lockdown?
In Milton Keynes, so in a range of locations. YiS has got several so that it's accessible for all young people. So they include Milton Keynes College, Brook, West Bletchley, Bean Hill Community Centre and Shenley Church End.
Yeah, and it's all in a secure room in these locations.
Yeah, the rooms will vary from the locations, but they're safe and comfortable environments where you won't be overheard, where you'll feel comfortable, hopefully, and you know, it's a safe environment, an environment where you feel you can relax and hopefully open up and manage the sessions.
Yeah. So during lockdown, separate to normal, how have the sessions been running, if they have been running?
Differently. So yeah, they've still been running, which is great. And it's been a combination of telephone and video calls. The initial meetings are always done by telephone call, but at that stage you can discuss with your counsellor if you prefer video call, and as long as you're and they can set you up with a counsellor who's doing video calling. The guidelines are that ideally you need to be over 15 to be doing the video call sessions, but there may be some exceptions if you can get consent from your parents or guardians.
And if they don't want to be on a video or a call, can they wait until we go back into person?
Of course, yeah. So if that doesn't feel right, it is a bit different, but it actually, I've been doing it and it works pretty well. We're still able to connect, we're still able to support, and the young people are still saying they're getting something from it.
Yeah, that's good. Do the young people get assigned one counsellor for all their sessions? And
they do. Yeah, go on.
If needed, do they get a choice who they see, or do they get a choice to change?
So for the initial meeting, they will be allocated a counsellor who will kind of assess their needs and their goals. And after that, they will be allocated the same counsellor for the 6-week block. It may be the same counsellor that did the initial meeting, but it may not. At the initial meeting, there'd be a chance to express if there's any type of counsellor you would or wouldn't ideally like to work with, and where possible, YiS will match you with a suitable counsellor. If you met with a counsellor for your block of sessions and for some reason you didn't click, it didn't feel right, then of course you could either discuss that with that counsellor or go back to YiS, and they would have a look at if they can offer some alternative for you.
Thank you. That is all the questions I have. If anybody else has any questions, you can of course let us know and we will try and answer them for you. Thank you, Jodie, for answering all of them for us.
No problem. Counselling's great. Give it a go.
Thank you.